Hello. Today I am going to read you a short story from Twice Told Tales, and this is only 3 pages, I believe, but I'm going to read it. Um, so it's called The Haunted Mind. Well, the singular moment is the first one when you have hardly begun to recollect yourself after starting from midnight slumber. By unclosing your eyes so suddenly, you seem to have surprised the personages of your dream in full conviction round your bed, and catch one broad glance at them before they can obscene or flit into obscurity. Or, to vary the metaphor, you find yourself for a single instant wide awake in the realm of illusions, whether sleep has been the passport, and behold its ghostly inhabitations and wondrous scenery, with a perception of their strangeness such as you never attain while the dream is undisturbed. The distant sound of the church clock is borne faintly on the wind. You'll question with yourself, half seriously, whether it has stolen to your waking ear for some grey tower that stood within the parasites of your dream. While yet in suspense, another clock flings its heavy clank over the slumbering town with so full a distance a sound, and such a long murmur in the neighboring air, that you are certain that it must proceed from the steeple at the nearest corner. You count the strokes, 1, 2, and there they cease with a booming sound, like the gathering of a third stroke within the bell. If you could choose an hour of wakefulness out of the whole night, it would be this. Since your sober bedtime at 11, you have had rest enough to take off the pressure of yesterday's fatigue, while before you, till the sun comes from from far Kathy, to brighten to your window. There is also the space of a summer night, 1 hour to be spent in thought, and with a mind's eye half shut, and 2 in pleasant dreams, and 2 in that strangest of enjoyments, the forgetfulness alike, and joy of and woe. The moment of rising belongs to another period of time, and appears so distant that the plunge out of a warm bed into the frosty air cannot yet be anticipated with dismay. Yesterday has already vanished among the shadows of the past. Tomorrow has not yet emerged from the future. You have found an intermediate space where the busiest of life does not intrude, where the passing moments linger and becomes truly the present, a spot where Father Time, when he thinks nobody is watching, sits down by the wayside to take breath. Oh, that he would fall asleep and let mortals live without growing older! Hitherto you have laid perfectly still, because the slightest motion would dissipate the fragments of your slumber. Now, being irrevocably awake, you peek through the half-drawn wooden window curtain, and observe that the glass is ornamented with fateful devices in frostwork, and that each pane presents something like a frozen dream. There will be time enough to trace out the analogy while waiting the summons to breakfast. Seen through the clear portion of the glass, where the silvery mountain peaks of the frost scenery did not ascend, the most conspicuous object of the steeple, the white spear which directs you to a winter luster of the firmament. You may almost distinguish the figures on the clock that have just tolled the hour. Such a frosty sky, and the snow-covered roofs, and the long vista of the frozen streets, all white, and the distant water hardened into rock, might make you shiver, even under 4 blankets and a woolen comforter. Yet you look at that one glorious star. Its beams are distinguishable from all the rest, and actually cast the shadow of the casement on the bed with a radiance of deeper hue than moonlight, though not so accurate in outline. You sink down and muffle your head in the clothes, shivering all the while, but less from the bodily chill than the bare idea of a polar atmosphere. It is too cold even for the thoughts to venture abroad. You speculate on the luxury of wearing out a whole existence in bed, like an oyster in its shell, content with the sluggish ecstasy of inaction, and drowsily conscious of nothing but delicious warmth, such as you now feel again. Ah! That idea that has brought a hideous one in its train. You think how the dead are lying in the cold shrouds and narrow coffins through the dear winter of the grave, and cannot persuade your fancy that they neither shrink nor shiver when the snow is drifting over their little hillocks, and the bitter blast howls against the door of the tomb. That gloomy thought you will collect a gloomy multitude, and throw its complexion over your wakeful hour. In the depths of every heart there is a tomb and a dungeon. Through the lights, the music, and revelry above may cause us to forget their existence, and the buried ones or prisoners whom they hide. But sometimes, and oftenest at midnight, those dark receptacles are flung open. In an hour like this, when the mind has a passionate sensibility, but no active strength, when the imagination is a mirror, imparting vividness to all ideas, without the power of selecting or controlling them, then pray that your griefs may slumber, and the